as in classification of plants according to the food they are eating. So, and we have now divided them, we've grouped them according to their similarity. That is why I earlier said we have the cereal, the legume. Now we move on to the tubers. The tubers are grown for their starch and they form staple food. Tubers. Cassava is part of them. We have yam. Sweet potatoes are also examples. They are all examples of tubers. Then the vegetables. Vegetables are grown for their dietary vitamins and minerals. An example of such vegetables, we have tomatoes, we have onion, pepper, okra. So those are examples of vegetables. Still under the food crops, we have the fruits. These are plants that are grown for their fruits, which are rich in sources of vitamins, minerals, and sugars. And you have them all around. You have the oranges, the pineapples, the banana, plantain, mango, pawpaw. Those are examples of fruit. Watermelon is also part of fruit. Then the spices. Spices are those that are used for condiments. And you just spice your food up. You have your pepper, ginger, cinnamon, your cloves. Those are examples of spices. Then for the oils, this particular group of plants, they are the ones that give oil. Their seed, the fruits give oil that we use in cooking. And examples of such plants, we have the oil palm, we have the shea butter and the coconut. So we can get oil from all of them. Groundnut is also part of oil crop because we get groundnut oil from groundnut. Then the second main group now, we've talked about the food crops. So we now move on to the cash crops. Cash crops are those crops that are of monetary value. The food crops are of food value. Even though some of the cash crops are consumed, but they have high monetary value. When you take them to the markets, they give you good money. An example, we have the beverages. And examples of beverages, we have cocoa, coffee. Those are examples of beverages. You know, they give good money when you sell them. Then drugs. Drugs are also another group under the cash crop. We have the tobacco and the quinine under that. Then the latex, we have rubber tree that produce the milky fluid, which is used in making natural rubber. So that's another example of cash crop, the latex. Then the fibers. The fibers include plants such as the jute that is used in making bag, hemp, cotton. You know, cotton are used in making your clothes, making ropes, making the jute, making ropes, making bags. So they help in making clothing that you use to carry things and that you put on. Then the economic trees. The economic trees include the big trees in the forest that are useful for our furniture, for building, and the rest. And examples of such, we have the Iroko tree, we have the Ceiba petandra. That's the Araba that is used that is grown for timber. Yoruba people call the Ceiba petandra Araba tree. Then we have the Melina. Melina is used in making pulp that is used in your paper you use to write your textbook. So that's a good function of Melina. You know, it's of economic importance and high monetary value. Then another classification that we want to do under this, we want to classify plants based on their life cycle. That is the number of lives, the number of years, the number of months, days that a particular plant have before it finally dies. That's the life cycle. That is the number of days that the plant eventually live before it dies off. Then according to the life cycle, plants are classified basically into three. We divide them into three. We have the herbs, the shrubs, and the trees according to their life cycle. So herbs are very small plants that have soft stem. They don't grow tall. They are small plants. They have small stem and they don't grow tall. Examples, we have the rice, tomato, banana. Their stem is so soft you can easily use your hand to break the stem of herbs. And herbs are further classified into three. We classify them into annuals, biennials, and perennials. Annuals are plants that complete their life cycle and die within 1 year. So what they complete the life cycle, they reproduce, they get their fruits, you see the seed, all in 1 year. Then examples of these annuals, we have the maize, the rice, millet, beans, yam, banana and groundnuts. Those are examples of annual crops. Then biennials complete their life cycle within 2 years. This takes their own a bit further than the annuals. Flowers are produced in their first year. Then in the second year, they grow in the first year. Then in the second year, they produce their flowers and fruits and then die off. Examples of these plants, we have carrots, we have cabbage, we have onions and lettuce. So those are examples of biennials, that is crops that live and complete their cycle within 2 years. The perennials live for several years, producing fruits, flowers and seed. And examples of perennials, we have mangoes, we have cashew, we have rubber, coconut and oil palm and the rest. But one thing about perennial is that they live year in, year out. They keep growing. After they produce for a season, they relax. They don't die off. They go low again. They produce the next season. They produce another season. They can be there for years. That's perennials for you. And you find mango. The mango in front of your house or on your street, you discover that it has been there since, unless somebody goes there to cut it down. That's an example, a very good example of a perennial plant. Then we have woody perennials, such as tree shrubs, in which their area stem and branches persist and grow from year to year. Example, you have bougainvillea. There is this plant that grows on fences of house, or that people plant. It's an ornamental plant. It has yellow, pink flowers, sometimes white and sometimes yellow. So that's bougainvillea. It has thorns on its body. That's Bougainvillea speciosa. Bougainvillea speciosa. That's an example of a woody perennial. It's there. It's just, unless you cut it off, it keeps reproducing year in, year out. Then we move on to shrubs. Shrubs are small woody plants with no distinct trunk. They don't have distinct trunk. That is, they are of short height. Their height is very short. And then another thing about them is that you don't find a main stem in them. They have branched, they have several stems from the root of the plant. So you find them having several stems. You can't distinguish that, okay, this is the main stem from which all other stems are coming out from. That's the trunk that I'm talking about. Then they do not die off at the end of each growing season. They are kind of perennial in nature. They are there. Their stem branch profusely from a point close to the ground. They have several branches. And examples of this include hibiscus, your hibiscus flower, croton, bougainvillea speciosa, I mentioned that earlier. Then izora. Izora is also another example of shrubs that we have, and it's ornamental. You find them all around. Trees. Trees are large woody plants with a main stem called the trunk. Trees they are very high, they are very tall and large. They are woody plants. You can't break the stem, the main stem of a tree. It's not possible because it's so strong, and that is what we call the trunk. Then it does not branch until several feet from the ground. You don't find tree branching low, very close to the ground. No, it grows to a kind of height before it starts branching. Examples of such trees, we have the mahogany tree, mango tree, and the likes. So we have trees you can mention more on your own. We want to talk about the effects of agricultural activities on the ecosystem. Farming generally involves both growing of crops and rearing of animals. It's not just planting that you call farming. Both planting crops and then rearing of animals, such as poultry, cattle, goats, pigs, and the rest. So that's farming for you. So we want to now look at the effects of the various agricultural activities on the ecosystem. And the activities we will be considering include bush clearing, bush burning, tillage, fertilizer application, herbicide or pesticide application, then overgrazing and substandard farming method. How do these farming activities affect the ecosystem? One, the bush clearing. Bush clearing, that is when you just come, they are done with farming for a particular year, but this place is so bushy, you bring in your tractor or your cutlass or what have you to clear the ground for farming activity, because you can't plant on weeds, so you have to clear it. The effects of this on the ecosystem is that it exposes the soil to leaching. Then there is the destruction of organisms that are responsible for decay. In the process of you cutting down, digging the soil, doing all sorts in the name of clearing the bush, you destroy some critical organisms that are responsible for decay in the soil. Then clearing the bush also results in delay in formation of humus, because you don't have, when I explained earlier that humus is formed as a result of decay of organisms. When the plant parts don't fall, that is, they don't go to a place that they get falling, the leaves are falling on the ground and they are decaying, humus will not form. There will be delay in formation of humus. Then the soil is also exposed to erosion, that is, there is washing away of the soil surface. But because once rain falls, the soil is now exposed to sun, exposed to any activity that happens, because you have cleared the plants that are occupying that ground. Then another activity is bush burning. When